Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Winnipeggers rejoice. We're going to talk about you now and your hockey team. Last night, Ryan McLeod had a goal and 3 assists, and James Reimer made 33 saves to lead the Buffalo Sabres to a 5-3 victory over Western Conference leading Winnipeg. It denied the Jets a chance to clinch a playoff spot, but they will. I believe I have that right. Let's bring in Brian Munz now, longtime Winnipeg broadcaster, NHL, AHL, every league actually, and he is currently with Golf Manitoba. Munzie, happy Monday, brother. How are you?
I'm great, Roddy. How are you? Nice and warm, I would assume.
Good. It's beautiful. Great baseball watching weather. We had a fun day yesterday at TD Ballpark catching the Jays. What the hell happened with the Jets last night? Was that just overlooking the Sabres like What happened? What was your take on that game?
It was the James Reimer show. He was outstanding. I would say I don't obviously watch as many games as I did when I was calling hockey and had to be there every night, but I would argue that it was one of the top 3 goaltending performances I've seen all year long, and that would include the Four Nations Championship. May have been his last game. I don't know exactly kind of what his plans are, but for a guy from Morweena, Manitoba that has played a number of years now of professional hockey at age 37, that might have been one of the best games that he's ever played. And I stuck around actually after the game, Roddy, and you'll like this because of the days back to the Western Hockey League with the Winnipeg Ice. Zach Benson was in town with the Sabres, and really that's why I went to the game, to see Zach after. And James came up into the stands and probably had half the town of Morweena there to see him, and he was pretty excited to get that game in. So the Jets had a number of grade A chances. They played an okay game, but at the end of the night, James Reimer was better than Eric Comrie, and Buffalo was able to kind of squeak a win out there that I don't think many people expected. But I would expect the Jets to get right back at it here when Alex Ovechkin's in town tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, I saw the highlights, and I saw Reimer at the end of the game pump his fist, and I'm like, there's a competitor. It's nice to see that they care, even on the worst team, statistically the worst team in the Eastern Conference. What is your take on the Jets? I've said many times on the show this year, I'm impressed with the way the fan base is dealing with it. They're not nitpicking. They're not finding anything to be negative about. They just seem to be enjoying the ride and loving their guys. I think that's all you can do.
Well, it is, and why wouldn't you? They've been one of the top 2 teams. I think Washington's just jumped them now for overall points. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have my computer in front of me. But, the Jets have pretty much been the number 1 team in the league the entire season, and that's got the city excited. I think Kevin Cheveldayoff made a couple of great ads at the trade deadline. Always good when you had a Sasky guy in there with Luke Schenn on the blue line, and obviously bringing Brandon Tanev back. And we saw it in the game yesterday. He had a great hit, then was able to get back 200 feet the other way and almost scored a goal late in one of the periods, which may have given them a little bit of life, but that was one of the stops that James was able to make in the game. So I like where this team is at right now. Knock on wood, they're pretty healthy, and obviously it's all going to depend on Connor Hellebuck when they get into it. But it's exciting. We're getting close here as the calendar counts down now. The games are into the 70s that they've played, so we're getting closer to 82 and really getting to that time when everybody wants to see, and that's playoff hockey and what they'll do here in this really tough, challenging Central Division.
Well, so here's a question. I wouldn't even ask you if you were broadcasting the games because I wouldn't want to put you on the spot. You wouldn't answer it. If I said, who's the best matchup for Winnipeg in round 1? I will now. Who's the best matchup for the Jets in round 1? Flames, Canucks, Blues, or even if Utah was part of it. I mean, you wouldn't want to answer that because you wouldn't want to give fuel, right? But now you can.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I guess you would probably say you'd want one of those teams in Vancouver or Calgary just based on the way the seasons have gone for them. Again, I haven't seen a lot of Canuck games. I don't stay up at 9:30 at night anymore to watch those West Coast games. So yeah. I can't give you a really big answer on what's going on in Vancouver. I've watched a little bit more Flames games, and obviously Dustin Wolf has been tremendous for them this year. So just based on past history with, the fight that is for that wild card spot right now, I think it's imperative that the Jets do finish in first place and move over to that Pacific Division for round one, because probably, Rod, I guess the best way to answer it and not to answer your question, and you'll get a chuckle on this, is you just don't want to play Dallas or Colorado in the first round, right? You don't want to be in that 2-3 spot. You want to be in that number one to give your chance or give yourself the best chance going up against one of those wild card clubs in the opening round of the playoffs.
Allie in Texarkana writes in, she says, I hate playing the Wild. She's a Dallas fan. I think you'll hate playing Colorado more, as Munzie just said, come playoff time. But, way back in the fall, I asked you what the Jets need, and you said that it was too early to even look at that. And I kind of wonder if they needed Luke Schenn or Brandon Tanev, but I saw Tanev's goal. Woo! Nice one. I mean, I guess better's better. How do you feel about the moves they made at the deadline?
Yeah, I like the additions they made. I think the familiarity with Brandon Tanev coming back, bringing that energy in the bottom six, and he can kind of bump around a little bit. And I think it gives Scott Arniel the opportunity to move some pieces around. And we even saw it in the game yesterday afternoon here against Buffalo. They were trying to generate some things, and we started to swap some players in and out of a role that maybe they've been comfortable with over the last month or so. So I think that's a bonus. And Luke Schenn does add some size on the blue line. That's still the only thing for me that, and here we are kind of putting the cart before the horse here. But, if they can get by that first round of whoever it's going to be Dallas or Colorado in round two. And just how does Winnipeg's defense handle the forecheck of both the size of the players here that the Avalanche and the Stars have on their roster in a 7-game series. It's different than the regular season, Rod, and you know this as well. You can kind of get through games here and there, but you get into a best-of-7 series, when you get into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the physicality kind of wears you down a little bit. So hopefully they can continue to do what they've done all season long. The defensemen that have been there right now have them as the number one team in the Western Conference. So there's a lot of excitement in Winnipeg, but the size of this team is one thing that I do kind of keep an eye on here down the stretch.
Jeff, a Stamps fan in Calgary, wants to know, he says, will Ovi get the record this year? It's starting to look like he may not.
I think he'll get it. I really do. You look at the games they have left, and, hey, I'll be honest with you, that's one thing that I think everybody around Winnipeg was looking at here over the last couple of months, is when he got to kind of in that lower double-digit range, it was like, okay, this is kind of setting the stage for tomorrow night here inside Canada Life Centre. Like, wouldn't that be cool for him to do it in Canada? Connor Hellebuck probably wouldn't agree, because I remember I read an article this week, and I can't remember who it was. One of the goalies was talking about, everybody's been watching this Ovechkin race, but you don't want to be the guy that he scores it on. Kind of like the Gretzky goal, right? Like that's all you see against the Vancouver Canucks. Now with people are on the ice in that scenario against. But I think at some point here before we get to game 82 that Alex will get it this year. And it's kind of a neat story. Like, obviously when the Jets came into the league, we were part of that Southeast division when Winnipeg moved in. So Jets fans saw a lot of Alex Ovechkin back in the day. It's hard to believe now that that's close to 15 years ago. But, I think in a long-winded answer for you, Rod, I think he'll get it this year. And it's been fun to follow, because obviously I wouldn't have watched a lot of Washington Capital games this year, but I'll admit to you, in the last month or so here, I've kept a keen eye on what the Great Eight's been able to do.
Me too. And the thing is, he's 7 away, right? So if he doesn't do it this year, he's going to do it next year. It's not a if anymore, it's when. Okay, to what you and I really care about, and that's junior hockey. And news today, the Western Hockey League announced the awarding of an expansion franchise to the Penticton Vees for next season, along with the initiation of a franchise application process for the city of Chilliwack to begin play the season after. So the dub is expanding. Again, I don't know who broke this story initially, but kudos to them because it ended up being true. We got a lot of junior hockey fans that watch this show throughout Western Canada. What did you think when you heard this news, which became official today?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Obviously, I've spent a lot of time in Penticton. The Jets, well, the Vancouver Canucks obviously hosted that Young Stars tournament over the last decade or so now, maybe even more than that, in the fall time. So spent a lot of time in that building. It's a beautiful facility. It is a Western Hockey League rink. There's no question about it. The only thing that I look at, I guess, is just from a fan standpoint, is there enough people to go around? Because obviously the Kelowna Rockets had to give their blessing, and that's obviously gone through now. And we all know what Bruce Hamilton's been able to do with the Rockets there. It's such a fantastic place and a great opportunity to go watch junior hockey there. So now they've got an instant rivalry. And then, I don't know, Rod, did you call games when Chilliwack was in the league? But I know I was in there a little bit. And, that's a great building too. And obviously you've got the Giants in that region that play out of Langley. So, BC is getting, I don't want to say saturated, but there's a lot of hockey options for people to watch now in the Lower Mainland and the Okanagan. But if you've got, A, I guess, obviously the fan support, and then B, the corporate community, it's great to see. And I guess the next question is where else or who else could possibly be a home for some team down the road, or now is it definitely enough? And once we all figure out what's going on with this NCAA thing, how that kind of then trickles down to Junior A hockey here. You and I grew up in the SJHL and obviously still watch a lot of Manitoba Junior League games here. And then, as they go on to the college sports. So it's an interesting landscape for sure right now to see what's going on in the hockey world for sure.
It's been since October since the NCAA's landmark decision to make major junior players eligible, and now we're seeing the fallout from it, and it is just fun to watch. I wouldn't want to be participating in it. And you ask about Chilliwack, Munzie. I was beside myself when the Regina Pats were at the Chilliwack Bruins for the first time, and the Bruins came on the ice, and they didn't play What You're Gonna Do by Chilliwack. I'm like, how do you not play a song by Chilliwack in Chilliwack? But whatever. And the Raiders... the Raiders clinching first winner-take-all game Saturday night over the Blades. I'm sure you were following that as closely as I was.
Yeah, kept an eye on it, obviously. An exciting time of the year. When you look at the rivalries and the matchups that are here right now, obviously for you and I that both are alumni in that broadcast booth on CKBI, it's cool to see what's going on there. And for them to wrap it up, it was interesting when I was back in Saskatchewan a couple times this year. The Raider-Blade rivalry really didn't get going until the second half. It was kind of strange the way the schedule worked out. And then obviously for them to go head-to-head on the final weekend and for Prince Albert to pull it out, it's fun bragging rights for everybody for sure in Hockeytown North.
Okay, and lastly, anything you would like to pass along from the Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tourney? You got any announcements or anything?
Yeah, obviously we're excited for it. It's the 8th annual coming up. It'll be August 8th and 9th. We are looking for some hole sponsors this year. We've had a couple businesses, obviously, with the times that have elected to move on, and we appreciate what everybody's been able to do for us since day one. But if you'd like to get involved, go to our social media and let us know, and we'd love to have you be a part of this year's event coming up in August.
Munzie, a fantastic update. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on. Enjoy the hockey. Hopefully we can do it in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
All right, Roddy. Take care. Stay warm down there, eh?
I plan on it. We got no choice. Stay cool is probably the more appropriate. Brian Munz, or as John Lynch would call him, Brian Biggie Munz. What do we got here? Mark, watching in PA, says that Raiders versus Blades game on Saturday was electric. The Hauser was rocking. Hey, there's only a certain amount of us that actually knew Chess Leach. I was thinking of the Chess Leach room the other day. I knew Chess up in PA. Great times. Okay. You guys all picked up what I put down. Jeff the Stamps fan with regards to Chilliwack. and them not playing any songs by Chilliwack. When I say I was beside myself, that's an understatement. I wanted an answer. Regina Pats were in Chilliwack playing the Bruins, and when the Bruins came on the ice, I was all ready. We either gone so long or what you're going to do. It's got to be one of the two. It was neither. What are we doing here? Jeff the Stamps fan says, how do you not play a song from Toronto in Toronto? It's not the same. I get the sarcasm. It's not the same. Rich in Edmonton says, you need to play Sweet City Woman when the Stampeders come out. Yes, because it was played by the Stampeders. Did you know I used to be a country music DJ? And I used to play that song. I didn't want to, but it was on the list. Allie in Texarkana writes in. She says that was a nice Medano jersey hanging in the background. Munzy and Mike Medano, or as they say in the USA, Madano, which in retrospect I think is the proper pronunciation of it, Madano. We always said Medano. Munzy and he are great friends. PA connection. And Munzy actually got me. If Munzy was still on, I'd ask him, but I see we're late for a break here. But it was some commemorative Dallas Stars program. I remember what the hell it was. That was signed by Mike Medano. It's in Canada with my things. I haven't seen it for a while. We'll be right back with a sports update and audience takeover in a moment. We're live here on the Game Plus Television Network, streaming live and podcasting wherever the best podcasts are found.